literally, I had tried before, Sonia, to find people, and it didn't work for me. So if anybody relates to that, like my dad has always been somebody that was really into having a therapist. My sister was, and I know, but I don't think I could have done this without you. Like you helped guide me so much. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like I think people are really missing that piece of their life. Like, why is this so important, do you think? And by the way, her name of her company, her office is Fearless Journey, which I think so incredible. And so here we are talking about being unleashed, right? We're talking about being unleashed. And so you think about like that as a name, like what does that mean to you? Because you named it Fearless Journey.
Yes, yes. It's everything. It's everything. And it's, Mallory can probably speak to branding, but when thinking of a name, it was so intimidating. But when I started just really narrowing it down, what is life? What are we trying to accomplish here? What is our purpose? And it is a journey. As I've been listening to the lovely ladies, many of them have used the word journey. And, we are on a journey, and it can be, scary and exciting, all the things. But
Yeah.
for me, when I looked back at my life and all the experiences, it was about overcoming fear many times. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, fear of, am I good enough? There were just all these fears that I was always facing. And faith was really big because, we're supposed to believe that, we have the strength, we have everything within us, everything's going to be okay. But fear can be very crippling. So for me, it was looking at, what are those fears, and let's examine them. Let's see how they're serving us, how they're mostly not serving us. But what do we do with that? How do we undo those fears and live a fearless journey where we are accomplishing and exploring and taking chances? Mallory said, making scary decisions. When she said that, I was like, yes, because that's what it can be about a lot. We can be frozen when we don't want to make that scary choice, because there's no certainty what the outcome's going to be. But facing those, so that's what it means to me. Yeah, thank you for
I
asking.
love that. And fear is such a debilitator. It's like the opposite of action, right? And so fear, if you let that take over you, like nothing in life it's just like the fear and faith. You said faith, right? Like you can't be in both those energies at the same time, right? And so a lot of what you do is help people, number one, see their blind spots, but also help them move forward. And it's in sales, it's in anything you do. And that's what I coach to too, right? If you're debilitated, like most people in life, Sonia, are not the like, go get it and I'll figure it out and I'll fail my way to success. Most people are not. Most
Hmm.
people are not. And if they are in their business life, it's like me. They stay in marriages 10 years longer than they should have because they had fear of what will people think if I get divorced? I never wanted to be divorced, and the judgment and all the BS that goes along with that, right? So you being basing it off fear, I think so powerful. What made you get into the field that you're in?
It was mostly through my experiences, being biracial. I was raised, I didn't know meet my dad until I was in my mid 40s. So I was raised by my German, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed mom in communities that were mostly that looked like her. So I always felt on the outside and not included. But there were people throughout my life. I don't know if you guys have heard that quote by Maya D'Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
You won't remember what people have said or what people have done, but you'll remember how they make you feel. And there were people in my life that just through their eyes or their energy, I just felt accepted, part of. It was just like this feeling. And I think everybody should be able to feel that, being bullied or, different things that I've experienced. It was all about making others also feel special just the way you are. I know we've talked about the word authentic and inauthentic, a little bit before, but what does that really mean when you can see somebody without judgment, accepting them with everything, still loving them anyway? It's just that's what I love. I love that one-on-one when we're just sitting there as people, humans, and yeah, you
It,
know
It's incredible. It's so incredible because you're so good at what you do, by the way, because everybody I've sent to you has loves you because you just come at such this like come meeting people where they're at and and I think what people need to get to, and I know I didn't prepare you for this part, but like there's nothing wrong with you. Like everybody needs an outlet. Like there's nothing wrong having somebody in your corner that can really be a safe space to talk through things like I said, everybody should have a massage and somebody like Sonia in their life, and I think the world would be a better place. Like if I'm president, I'm going for that. Okay. Like, right. But you think about that. So obviously your favorite thing about helping people is what? Like, why is this important to you?
It's so important for people to know like their worth and not believe the fears. Our mind is so powerful and we believe the dialogue that sometimes is going on. But when we can pause, who was it? It was a seal who did those beautiful breathing, and being present and letting some of the noise go and just have some realizations about what really matters, kind of like what Mallory said. It's just so empowering and it just makes the journey so much peaceful or more accepting when we can just be in that space together. And like the question you asked, who are you? That's huge for a lot of people. And the circle that you did, it comes down to those priorities. Am I aligned with my priorities? And if I'm not, I'm going to be unsettled. And sometimes it's hard to realize that because we'll put something on the back burner. I don't have time for that, or I've got kids, or I've got this, but that can be the unsettlement. So discovering that and having people tap in and lean into those things, it just, gosh, and I have it there. I think everybody should have one because
Yeah.
life 2025, or I mean, for the past, I don't know how long, it's a lot. It's a lot that we're dealing with. And just to have a partner, and I'm so honored to be able to be in that space with somebody so intimately. Because
Wow.
it is like taking off your clothes and like, let's get down to who I am. What do I want? How can I really live my journey to the best?
Because you can only move people forward when they're very transparent and real with you, right? Where do you see women especially struggling with having their own voice or taking themselves, like working on themselves both mentally and physically?
So what would be the biggest barrier?
Yeah,
Or
where do you see that? Like why they struggle or why they don't reach out for help?
I think it's based on past experiences and beliefs that have been created by those past experiences. And this experience could be in third grade when we had toilet paper on our shoe coming out of the bathroom and somebody said something. And then we just hang on to this belief, I'm not good enough or I'm not lovable. And we carry that. And I think not knowing those beliefs that we're holding on to can be very detrimental.
Yeah.
They come from our parents, they come from religion, they come from, and it confuses us. Who am I, and is this belief real? So, and discovering those beliefs that we have about ourselves can then open the door to challenging those beliefs. Is this true, or is this what an experience or somebody told me is true?
Yeah. What are three things that our fabulous ladies can start doing today to prioritize their mental health, in your opinion? Because I love what you do. It's like the whole picture, right? It's not just one thing, it's all connected, right? Body, mind, everything. What are three pieces of something they could get into action on today?
Let me see. Gosh, there's so many, but I would say the one that keeps coming to my mind as you've been saying that is sleep. Sleep is so important. And I don't think I went to a conference not too long ago on sleep, and wow, it is huge. It affects mood, energy, brain function so much. So if I would say anything, look at your sleep hygiene and see, are you getting that really good sleep? Are you waking up feeling restored? Because that trickles down into hormones and so many other things. So I would say sleep would be number one. And then I loved what Seal did with just, taking a moment to be present. And when I was a school counselor for a long time, and I wouldn't even go to the bathroom all day. So now I incorporate my breathing with going to the bathroom. I started drinking more water so I could go to the bathroom more. So you can just have that time to just like take some deep breaths and check in with your nervous system, check in with your body. It's free. You can do it anywhere. And it really helps us be aware of where our body and our nervous system is, because sometimes we're just in that fight or flight and we don't even know it. And people talk about burnout and stress. And I think it's because we don't try to capture moments throughout the day to just kind of let everything settle, let everything just calm down. So I think that would be super important. And then you mentioned holistically, I encourage, like, the first thing that I do with the clients that I see is, when was the last time you had a physical? When was the last time you had blood work? Because a lot of things can be deficient in B vitamins, D vitamins. We think it might be here, but there might be a miss in some kind of supplement or something going on within ourselves, that we're doing the best we can, but there's something else. So it's not like I'm this bad person, or I'm lazy, or I'm this or that. It could be something else. So I would encourage women, if they haven't, checked that box off and got some good lab work. We both share the same functional medicine doctor. And I
Yeah.
encourage that, because regular doctors are going to miss a lot of what's going on these days with our food and just allergies and different things. But yeah, I would say sleep, that self-care. And I love the circle that you did with the pie. And I have one that's called the MAT 360. And I think I've shared it with you, but I want to share it with
Yeah.
you so you can share it with the ladies. And then
Perfect.
I also want to share a self-care assessment. It's got different categories that kind of match the pie that you were talking about. But it's like, how am I doing in these different areas? And it might give ideas like, I didn't even realize that was self-care, or wow, I didn't realize I really want to incorporate more of that. So I think that would be really cool to share with ladies, and that would be a good start to see, okay, spirituality, I'm seeing that I'm missing this piece. What does that mean for me? And based on past experience, that could, have been, I've got a lot of people that have like religious trauma, and at an
Oh,
old age, they're like, I don't want to go back there,
yep.
this or that. But spirituality, whatever it is for that person, is so important. So tapping, if that's the moon, the stars, music, whatever it means for you to connect to something, is huge.
It is so true. And in fact, that's been part of my healing this year, is getting back in touch with my spirituality, because I was one of those people, in high school, that was traumatized by something that happened by somebody that I really loved and respected. And I related that to church. And I could not go back in a church because of that person. And I had to do a lot of healing to work through that. And so now I'm on the other side of that. And it's changed me. Like, I can't even explain how much that part was missing for me. And I didn't even know it, Sonia. I didn't even know it, and started going with my bestie. And it is just opened up a part of me that was so empty. Right.
Yeah.
And so I love those tips. What did I not ask you that I should have asked?
I don't know. I
Is
think,
there anything I missed?
not that I'm aware of, but
Okay.
I'm open to any other questions. I think you're doing a great job. I can't think of anything right now.
Well, I love you and think you're amazing. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life as my advocate on this journey. And I just trust you more than anything.
And I just want to thank you as well, because when I work with people, they also inspire me, because you made hard choices. You did things, you stretched yourself, you looked within, some of it wasn't fun or pretty, but you still did that. And that inspires me, because I still struggle with things. So when I'm there with you, and we revisit, how did last week go, how did the past couple weeks go, and you're like, Sonia, you're not going to believe, I went to church, I did this, I did that. I'm like, woohoo, and I'm celebrating with you. And then it also encourages me, like, if this woman and the women that I work with can be as brave jumping out of planes, I'll mention somebody else I know. Yeah.
Exactly. On this call.
I was about
Yes,
to jump in.
yes,
I was
yes, yes,
about to
yes.
jump
That
in.
fearlessness, I love it. So thank you so much for what you've done for me.
Oh, it's such an honor to have you in my world and to be in yours. Are there any questions that anybody would ask, Mimi, or anybody that you want to ask before we move on to the
I
next?
I don't have a question, but Sonia saved me. In 2.5 years ago, I met Sonia. Melanie gave me the phone number, and she saved me. I'm being honest. If I did not have Sonia in my life, I wouldn't be here right now. And you have been such an impact, Sonia. You have you saved my family, you saved everything. I'm forever grateful for you. You have
You
no
did,
idea.
you did the work. I was just there beside you, shining lights on things that maybe you weren't seeing, but you did it. You did it. Yeah.
You are
Thank you. Thank you.
such a gift to people, and if anybody here needs the support, I never thought that I needed somebody to talk to, and I think the stigma around having a psychiatrist is something's wrong with you, something's mentally wrong with you, but you are like a guide. It's not,
Yeah.
you're like a whole uh wholeness.
Coach for your mental
Oh,
well-being, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, in every aspect and area, and I'm just so thankful to know you.
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you so
Love
much.
that. Majority of her life living for others. I guess my question would be is just how does one come out of this loss of oneself? And what are the steps to finding yourself? And that's exactly what we're talking about today, right?
Exactly. I mean, great question. Great question. And that it starts with that question. Now that you've had that question, you've already opened up and started the journey, so to speak, to discovering that. And it is, just taking the time to look within, and that takes slowing down and being present, identifying what our priorities are, and are they our priorities? Are we just saying they are, or are they really? So, great question. I think it
Yeah.
starts with that question.
Who raises, she's been raising children, she's got grandbabies, like, so she's always giving to everybody. And that comes back to the who are you first question I even asked. And where's Courtney making time for Courtney and who she is and her voice? She's not lost, she's just crammed down in there somewhere and being ignored. And so part of Unleash is waking yourself up and saying, wait a minute, because Courtney's not going to be around much longer in a happy state if she doesn't remember who she is. And that's why all of this is so important. And Unleashed is mental health part of that, physical is part of that, community of each other is part of that, right?
And what an exciting time for you to be able to, okay, what do I want to put in now? I've been doing all this other. Now it seems like there's space or there's time that you're like, okay, now what? And that should be super exciting for you to explore past hobbies, things that you've always wanted to do, which could be fearful. A lot of people want to write a book, but who's going to buy my book? And is it going to be good enough? And all those fears start coming in. So, yeah, being fearless right now, and what's that going to look like for you?
I love that so much. Sonia, you are such a blessing in my life. I adore you. Thank you for being with us here today. You're such
Thank you
a
so much. This was amazing. Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you. Let's like everybody give her some love, okay? Woo!
And love right back.